It's your boy Downtown Deuce. I'm here with my man, none other than Everything King. What's going on, King?
Hey man, you know what it is, man. Another day here in Detroit, trying to get the info out here to the fans. Man, it's an absolute honor.
Absolutely, man. So we have a very special guest with us today. A friend of ours. This gentleman has quite the resume. He played at Country Day High School as an All-American. He went on to play in the NFL for the Baltimore Ravens and the Frisco 49ers. And oh yeah, by the way, just so happens to be Jaden Ivy's father. So welcome to the show, Mr. Javin Hunter himself. Welcome to the show, brother. Glad to have you, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
I know you're in Utah right now, All Star Weekend, getting ready to watch Jaden Ivy do his thing tonight in the Skills Challenge. Man, had opportunity to watch him last night, which was absolute blast watching last night. How's the atmosphere
Yeah.
down there right now?
Oh man, it's amazing, man. Obviously, it's my first time being in Salt Lake City, man. It's a beautiful city. It's not congested down here. We're staying right downtown at the Hyatt Regency. Um, so it's exciting. This is actually my first All Star game, man. I haven't been to any All Star game, so I'm looking forward to tonight. You know, Jaden's in the Skills Challenge tonight, and so then I'll stay and watch the slam dunk and the 3-point contest as well. But I'm hoping they get a victory tonight in that Skills Challenge.
For sure. You got some you
Yeah.
got extra pair of shorts just in case somebody needs you out there tonight, man?
Man, I wish, man. I wish. Man. I might pull a hamstring, man. I try. I lift and try to stay active, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Give me 2 weeks.
Okay, for sure. For sure. I got you, bro. So a lot of people are getting introduced to you, bro, for the first time today. And we're gonna get into your family history in a few, but I just want to first give you the opportunity to kind of talk about your journey as an athlete and just kind of talk about how you got to be here today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, born and raised in Michigan. I grew up in Orchard Lake, Michigan, and in Southfield as well. But, my athletic background, I give all credit to the city of Detroit, man. I grew up playing in the PAL leagues and, I played for the Detroit Super Friends AAU program. And that
Mm,
really shaped me. Yeah, same program produced Jalen and Chris.
hmm
And so, I played a lot of soccer. Growing up, my father wouldn't let me play football until the ninth grade, but that developed my coordination and speed and stamina and, all that. And so, I went on to Country Day and played football, basketball, and track. And, I ended up, winning three state championships in basketball with Shane Battier.
mm,
And also Jaden's godfather, David Weber, Chris's brother. So
mm.
we had a lot of success in basketball and also football. I won a state championship my sophomore year and ended up, being an All-American in football and basketball and, decided to play football at Notre Dame. I played basketball also my ninth grade year at Notre Dame. Um, and basketball is actually my first love. We can talk about that, but basketball is my first love. But I played football for 4 years and ended up, being blessed to be drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in 2002. I had a pretty good rookie year. I was able to, to play, and I started 5 games my rookie year.
Mm,
And then the next year, I tore my Achilles tendon. So my football career really ended before it got started,
Right.
which is unfortunate, And so, I really tried to pass on the love and the athleticism, to my kids. And so now you're seeing that with Jaden, and I got another one coming, Jordan, who's 15. So,
Yeah.
that's really where, everything started. But we have a strong athletic background, in the Hunter family.
Yeah. Speaking of that background, I mean, Ivy and Jordan, they have zero choice but to be athletic and you
Yeah.
and mom and your father. Oh my
Mm.
God. The genetics. The genetics,
Thank
we
you.
watch it all the time. We talk about the speed of Jaden Ivy. So, I'm glad you mentioned that. Kind of expound on that a little bit. The athleticism um that you guys have in that family tree because it seems like it's just being passed down.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But it definitely started with my dad. My dad, James Hunter played with the Lions, for 7 seasons, and his career was also cut short. But man, I mean, I growing up, in Detroit, I used to hear about how talented and athletic my father was. He was a kind of before his time. He was a freak of nature, man. I mean, 6'3" cornerback, running a 4.2, 4.3 40. Um,
Mm.
and I always say he was born too early, because had he been born, in these days, he'd be making a lot of money. But he
Mm.
passed it on to us. And I always try to emulate him growing up, and he kept me around the game, around the Lions locker room, and in the city of Detroit, and Pistons. He took me everywhere. So we all get it from him. So we very thankful that he was able to pass that on to us.
Mm. And King, I'm glad you mentioned that too, bro. Because in my Pistons record, Destination Restoration, Javin, I think you heard it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely,
in the
man. Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. In the
Go ahead.
section about Jaden, it says it's in his DNA,
Yeah.
because it truly is. I mean, like King mentioned it, between you, mom, who was a tremendous athlete herself, with
Oh
the
yeah,
shot and the Indiana
yeah.
Fever and the WNBA, and then your father as well. So hopefully you
Mhm.
guys really like the lyrics as far as with the song. I really hope it hit home, because that's
Oh,
really what I
definitely.
wanted it to do, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad.
we love it. Yeah, we love it, man. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, I appreciate you being a good dude, man. Like
Thank you,
since the
man.
day I met you, man, I was like, that's a good dude, man. We got to
Mm,
connect. So I
thank
appreciate
you,
it.
brother. And I want to focus on your father too, man. James Hunter, DB for our very own Detroit Lions. And just for context, I just want to read off a couple of stats for Mr. Hunter. So, 10th overall pick, right, by the Detroit Lions, 1976 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year runner-up, led the Lions in interceptions in 1976, 77, and 1980, and he finished with 27 career picks in his career, even though it was cut short. This dude was a beast. I mean, he wasn't no slouch,
Yeah,
man. He was doing work.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I
Thank
just
you.
want to ask you, what was it like growing up for you watching your father play in the NFL? How did that really affect you and your desire to want to go pro too?
Oh, big time, man. Like I said, my father kept me around the Detroit sports and the locker rooms, the Lions locker rooms, Pistons. I was actually two and a half when he was forced to retire. He was temporarily paralyzed, and neck injury, forced him out of the game. So I only, I wasn't able to comprehend him playing. But as a kid, I was so hungry to watch him play. I would beg for highlights. Like, Dad, let me see
Mm,
some highlights, because obviously it was in the '80s. That wasn't on YouTube. So I used to have to, try to search for stuff. And I was able to get a lot of games as I got older, man, and I just saw his athleticism. He was long, tall, fast, and I just enjoyed, watching him play. And yeah, that definitely inspired me to want to do it. Obviously, having someone in your family, I knew it wasn't far fetched for me to be a pro athlete, and so I always had confidence that I was able to, that I would be able to do it if I worked hard. And I was able to make that happen. But definitely, my dad started an outstanding legacy for us.
Yeah.
let me just tell you this, bro. King never cheeses like this. He's a huge football buff, man. So it's fun.
Yeah,
It's kind of fun to see him cheesing like this, because we don't see it too
yeah.
often. So
Appreciate it.
continuing on with Mr. Hunter, he was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, Black Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, yes, yep,
Okay.
yep.
And you were there for the induction ceremony. So what does that mean to you, bro? And the family, for him to be recognized among the greatest college players to ever play, especially considering he could have, if he'd been able to play much longer,
Right, right. It was, validation for us. My dad wasn't short on confidence, so he would always tell us how good he was, and we would laugh. Um, so this was just confirmation for us, And I always say that Grambling State University was the U before the U. I mean, the
Mm,
guys they put out, man. I mean, Hall of Fame guys, Pro Bowl guys,
Yeah.
All Pro guys. I mean, that program and to play under Coach Eddie Robinson, guys like Doug Williams,
Mm-hmm.
Everson Walls, James Harris. Those guys are legends in the game of football. And so those all guys all came through Grambling. And so,
Wow.
to have the validation that my father was a part of that and part of that legacy, and to be one of the best players that come through there was amazing. And so, the ceremony was at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, and we had a great time. I was able to make a speech on his behalf, and so I just wish he was able to see that. But I know he was looking down, and he was proud.
Absolutely.
So being a dual threat athlete, I have a history being a dual threat athlete myself. I played football and basketball. I probably was better
Oh
at
yeah, oh,
football than I was at basketball in
yeah,
the inner city. So, I
yeah.
chose basketball though.
Oh,
So
yeah,
being a dual athlete yourself,
yeah,
was football always the first option? I know you say you played some soccer. So was
yeah.
football always your first option?
Honestly, I got to be honest. It was not. It was not. I made a decision in high school. I was kind of going through, which sport I would have the largest opportunity to go to the next level. I mean, the NFL or the NBA, and most of the people said football. Because I was 5'11", 6 foot. It wasn't a whole bunch of guys. Allen Iverson, to name a few. It's a short list of guys that size that actually make an impact. And so, decided on football. But basketball, man, I love basketball. Basketball, I would spend hours and hours playing basketball. And then when in high school, I would have to do both sports, man. I would spend maybe
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 hours practicing basketball, and then I would practice football when it got dark, and do my running and my sprints and all that,
Mm.
just so I could, be ready for both sports. But
Wow.
yeah, basketball was my first love, man. I wish I took it further at Notre Dame. I played that freshman year. But yeah, basketball I love, and I was able to pass it down to, my boys.
So we're all fathers on here. I got 5 myself. I got 4 boys. So I got 4 chances.
Oh,
Y'all brothers pray for me, all right?
we're gonna be ready.
But when it comes to Jaden, when was it that you realized he had that pro potential?
Okay, so I gotta be honest. I always knew he would have the ability because he was my son. That's just how I think,
Yep.
right? But there was a period where I was worried about Jaden. I'm not gonna lie. It was between probably 7th to 9th grade. He just didn't show the hunger that I wanted to see in him. He was kind of timid. And he'll tell you himself. He was a little timid, and I was hard on Jaden. I was on him. And that kind of hurt our relationship for a while, because that father. I had the same thing with my dad, because
Yeah.
we hard on our boys, man. We want them to succeed so bad, and
Yep.
so but Jaden stepped up to every challenge that I set forth for him, and he just never stopped working, and that's what I love about him. And even now, like he puts in the work after the games,
Mm-hmm.
at LCA or Way, he's back home watching film, watching tape, watching other games, NBA games. Like he's hungry. So that's how I know he's going to continue to have success. But his junior year is when I said, okay, he's going to be all right. His junior year in high school,
Mm.
I saw the progression. I said he's ready. So,
Yeah.
but the success that he's had thus far, I don't think any parent could predict. But we're just blessed and happy that he is having the success he's having so far.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have not talked at length about his development in his young career. The boy's got star potential. If you have eyeballs, anybody can see that. And like any father,
Thank you.
you're focused on, like you mentioned, how he can continue to grow and improve, right? So I know we've talked about it a little bit, but what would you like to see him improve on and build on going into year 2?
Yeah, so I've been on Jaden on this since high school, and he knows. So his mid range game, and I compared Jaden to Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade. Like, he has that type of ability, speed and
Mm-hmm.
quickness. And for him to go to the next level, he has to get away from being an athlete and become a basketball player and learn the ins and outs and learn his spots and learn when to pull up, when to drive, and those are things I've been on him for a long time. So, and becoming an elite scorer. I think right now he's an all around player. You see, he's not shy to pass the ball. Like that's actually the part of his game that he loves to do. He loves to pass the ball to get his teammates involved. But for him to make that next progression, you got to become an elite scorer and improve on his mid range game. And so I know he's working on that. I know he's hungry. So I'm not worried about him. He's one I don't worry about.
Yeah, you mentioned watching film and just trying to be better. Me and King have talked about this. We've already noticed him taking some leaps and taking some jumps just throughout the season, just understanding how to use his speed, how to change speed. Because in college, he was the most athletic player on the floor every night, and he still is in the NBA now. But you can get away with it. But now he's seeing guys are playing him differently. So now I've seen him already going at different speeds, understanding, okay, I got wings with me now. Let me pull it out and see what's available. So we've seen that already. Just his learning curve, man. The way he understands the game, he's got a very cerebral mind.
Yeah, we at the beginning of the season, that's all that me and Deuce would talk about. Like, hey, eventually he's gonna learn when to speed up and when to slow down. When you talk about a Dwayne Wade and a Ja Morant and Russell Westbrook, man, you see them guys have some of those struggles coming into the league too. Well, for him to be able to slow things down and get better and better as the season progresses, man, it is a beautiful thing for us to watch as a fan base. It really is.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you saying that. Yeah, he's going to continue to grow, and I've always been hard on him, but he's hard on himself as well, and he wants to learn. And if I go on his last 3-4 years since high school, I know he's going to continue to progress at a rapid level. So I'm looking forward to him finishing the year strong and then working into year 2.
Do you have a player comp for him? We've been getting a lot of questions about that, about who they kind of see in him or who they, that kind of thing. Is there a player you mentioned a couple guys already, so you can circle back to those guys if you like, but is there somebody who just jumps out at you and says, yeah, he can get to that level? I see a lot of that in his game.
Yeah, athleticism, Derrick Rose, obviously Russell Westbrook, as you said, those two guys, very similar. Ja, very similar in terms of, speed and quickness. And then, once he makes that next jump, as I said, Dwayne Wade, and that's who I want. He actually met Dwayne Wade. He's excited. He met Dwayne Wade yesterday. And so I know he's going to pick his brain moving forward. But once he's able to add, that craftiness in the lane and learn when to pull up, when to not, when to go to the hole, he's gonna take off.
It'll be dangerous. Yeah, man. Yeah. So for those of us who are old enough to remember, obviously we are, those championship Pistons teams, right? We understand the importance of having that backcourt play. It's always been something we've needed. It's been a hallmark for our success. And every championship team that we've had here has had that all-star backcourt, right? Whether it's Isaiah and Joe D or Rip and Chauncey, right? And now we have what I believe to be the next all-star level backcourt. And I think I can speak for all who are watching this. I think Jaden and Cade can be that. So how excited are you to see the growth and chemistry of those two together? Not just next season, but hopefully for a very long time playing together.
100%. I think those guys, those two can be elite, an elite backcourt, one of the best backcourts in the league, similar to Tatum and Brown. That's what I'm looking for them to get to that point. But I think the most important thing is they have a great relationship off the court. I think they get along. I know Jaden picks Kay's brain, on things he sees on the court, and so I think that's going to keep them moving forward. They have, they're both unselfish guys. They want to work together, and they want the Pistons to get to the next level. And so I know they're going to put in the work to make that happen. And I think the great thing about it, as you mentioned, they have those previous backcourts to look up to, right? And so they have something that they need to strive for. So, I know, they're going to put in the work to get there.
It's funny. We had Ashton, the trainer, on Kay Cunningham's trainer and cousin. He had him on, and he was just talking about what Kay. He said, "Man, Kay just wants to win. Kay just wants to win. He's a team guy, and it seems like Jaden is the same kind of mold. Like whatever I need to do to help the team win is what I'm going to do. So those two together, man, on and off the court, just their mindset and their team first mentality. I'm so excited to watch them play together, man. I really am.
Oh, man.
That's it, man. You called it. That unselfishness, that want to win, is going to take them further than anything else.
Yeah. Right.
You mentioned something at the beginning of the show. Your youngest son, Jordan. How is his? Yeah, right. Which, ladies and gentlemen, you can hoop too. How is his development going?
Excellent. So Jordan is on the #1 team in the country right now, Paul 6 in Chantilly, Virginia. So they've been ranked #1 on ESPN, and I think Max Preps they got him at 3. So he's in a great program. He's an outstanding program. He's one of 3 freshmen on the varsity, so he's getting some minutes. And I tell Jordan's hard on himself, but I said, listen, man, you're one of 3 freshmen on the #1 team in the country, man. That's something to be proud of.
Right.
And so, Jordan has that same work ethic, that same drive. He's still learning. He's still, learning the game. And I'm steady trying to get that dog in him. He's pushing for that, but he's got a great person to look up to in his brother, and somebody he can call on for advice. But I'm very happy with Jordan's development, and so I'm looking for great things from him as well.
I gotta tell you, man, it's looking like you might be the next LeVar Ball with all these successful boys in the league, man.
Amazing. Yeah, we'll see.
Man.
We'll see. That'd be a blessing.
I got a couple rapid fire questions for you. It's gonna be a little fun.
Okay.
So these questions it's basically gonna be one answer or the other. It's gonna be either you on your prime or Jaden right now.
Ooh,
okay.
Ooh. Damn.
All right. Yeah. We're gonna have a little fun. We got 4 questions for you. So just let me know what you're thinking. So first, question number 1. In the game of horse, who wins? You in your prime or Jaden now?
Damn. Me. I gotta go.
Okay. There we go. There you go. Say it with your chest, Pops. There we go. Okay. For real. Okay, cool. Question number 2. Who wins in a 40-yard dash? You in your prime or Jaden now?
Damn, that's a great question, man. You know what? I'm gonna give Jaden this nod, and the only reason, because this kid, man, I mean, and I always told him, because Jaden had big feet as a kid, right? So, I mean, he had to grow into his feet, into his athleticism.
Right.
So now I'm seeing him, and I think Jaden was kind of caught off guard. He started realizing that, damn, I'm kind of fast, man. So, and his long legs, he's 6'4", So I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with him.
All right. Question number 3, kind of a touch point here. Who's the best leaper? You in your prime or Jaden now?
Me. I got. People don't know this. I have a 41. I had a 40. I jumped a 41-inch, 41 and a half for 41 at the NFL Combine. So I don't know what Jaden's vertical is right now. So we gotta get that tested somewhere.
We gotta get that. Yeah. Let me know what that is. When
I'm gonna take that one
for sure. Okay. All right. Last one. Who has the best hands? You in your prime or Jaden now?
Let me go. I'm gonna go with Jaden. So we go 2 for 2.
Okay.
I got 2.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with Jaden. Like I said, he's just coming into his athleticism, man. So, he's we're gonna give him that one.
I was surprised. I thought you might have went with yourself on that one, Mr. Wide Receiver.
Listen, I would say me for everything. I'm trying to be humble, man.
I got it.
That's how I think, though. As an athlete, that's how we got to think.
Yeah.
You have to.
Absolutely.
To be as good as you are, you have to. So I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, lastly, man, I just want to for sure. we just want to also congratulate you, bro, on becoming a
Yes.
grandfather, man. The news broke
Oh man,
recently that Jaden and his lovely wife, Caitlin, are, parents to be. And I know you got to be over the moon, bro. So congrats to you and the family. I know you guys are really looking
yeah.
forward to that new addition. Sure.
Oh man, for sure. I'm super excited, man. Been trying to figure out when I'm gonna let them call me, but I got some
Mm,
time. We gonna just be looking at them in awe for a while. We got
right.
some time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Beautiful time for
Yeah,
you, man. So we're gonna let you get to the festivities tonight. We got some big things going on with Jaden tonight, right? He's gonna do
yeah,
his
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But to everybody watching, I just want to say this: this man is one of the humblest people I've ever met. He carries himself with a certain level of class that's obviously been instilled into Jaden by both of his parents, and we just really couldn't be happier, bro, to have you guys here in Detroit. So have fun watching your boy in the skills challenge tonight, man. We thank you for hanging out with us, bro.
Thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure. My pleasure. Appreciate the time, bro.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All
So
right.
everyone, make sure you guys go on social media. All the links will be in the description, and make sure you follow
Yes.
in Mr. Hunter on social media. Also, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. And man, we got more to come. This is only episode 1. We're going to continue to lock in and have some very special guests on here for you guys. We want to make it known here in the city of Detroit that is more. It's more than just basketball, man. We need to understand where these players come from, their background, their history, and we also want to shine that spotlight on the parents because they put a lot of work in to get these athletes to where they are. So as I said, we're all fathers here sitting here on the screen, and we definitely understand how serious and how hard it is to be able to raise a child and to be successful in doing so. So with that said, we appreciate everyone for watching. It's been a great show, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Catch up soon.